Okay, this is a Senate campaign video. Um, for lack of anything better that I can come up with, I'm thinking of, I don't know, just calling it the third party. You know, there's a two-party system, and you got the right and the left, and you got the extremists basically running each party, and the absolute extremists that are absolutely running the parties are on the same page. So you got really one party, you know, this extreme, that extreme, and result the same thing. So I've come up with the third party, and that's what I'm going to call it, third party. My full name is Walter Raymond Davis III. My son is the fourth. My dad was junior. It's got nothing to do with me, and I don't want to construe it as I'm naming it after myself, but just a third party, and that's what I think I'm going to do. Um, that's where I'm going to go with it. Third party. Walter Davis running as the third party, under the third party. And if somebody come up with something better, let me know, because I've really given it a lot of thought, and that's the best I come up with. You know, we're not, excuse me, we're not extreme right, where if you ever had an abortion, you should go to prison for the rest of your life for murder. And we're not to the far left, where to each what they need and to each what they can give. Um, you know, we're in the middle. Work, do your thing, that's it. Border secure. The people that are all strung out on all kinds of fucking dope, that are in videos of every major city, from Kensington to Chicago to San Francisco to every place in between. Cut off the drugs, give them rehab, you know, fix them, you know, whatever it takes, make them right, make them people again. We don't need a portion of our population being zombies. You know, when troops are rotating around the fucking world, you know, before they leave wherever they're going, they do a tour and they walk from, you know, the Pacific Ocean all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, you know, along the shoreline, across the borderline, across Mexico. And every 3 hours, you know, a patrol goes out, and the forward is the scouts, and then you've got the regular group of soldiers, and then you've got the, you know, the rear guard. And when somebody spots somebody trying to cross illegally, you know, they get on the radio and they call, and everybody groups up and stops whatever's trying to cross a border. We defend our borders. There's no walls, there's no expensive fucking crazy shit, you know, with cameras and laser beams that they're breaking, or none of that stuff. It's real simple. We have patrols going, and guys that are leaving, they can learn a lot from the guys that are coming back. And the guys that are coming back have a time of basic, you know, nothing happening, and they can decompress, and we won't have 22 or whatever, 25 deaths a day of suicide because guys are in these high speed situations, and they come back and they're flipping burgers at McDonald's, and somebody freaks out because there's not enough fucking mayonnaise or ketchup on their hamburger. So let's start using our heads, and let's start doing things that are like positive, that really don't cost a lot of money. We could close down the border. We got real combat troops that never adjusted to regular life, and the best thing they could do is be in a combat situation where nothing happens. And they have friends that never adjusted back to normal life because they left the combat zone. They got debriefed for a week at a base, and then they got turned back to civilian life. And because they got banged up, because they fell out of a truck and broke their hip or whatever, they got a medical discharge. And you're on your own. Have a good time. Good luck. You know, when you turn 65 years old, you can collect your military pension or whatever the hell number it is. and their house is in foreclosure. Everything's all fucking horrible, but they never got the chance to like decompress. And just walking the border is all it would take. And they could tell the new guys that have never been deployed anywhere, the last step of basic training is you walk the border, and somebody would say, hey, you hide behind that rock at 12 noon, all morning. Nobody's going to be there because in the morning hours the sun is rising in this direction, and if somebody was hiding behind that rock, they would bake. There's nothing to protect them from the sun. They would bake. They would be dead by the time we walk by. And then they walk a little further and say, well, that place would be a pretty good place to set up an ambush. So you might want to be careful around that. And that other place would be a horrible spot to set up an ambush. I mean, that's stuff that guys have been out there could tell the new guys. New guys would have more training than they've ever had in that 2 weeks hiking the border. And that's something that's simple. But instead we got, there's a lot of organizations, stopped at 22 deaths a day of, veterans that are killing themselves because they just can't readjust because it's too much work to try to do anything to do it right to prevent this from happening. These are great guys that served, that got shot at, that they did it all, they gave it all, and they come back and they're being ignored. And I'm really getting on a sidetrack, but the point of this video is it's a third party. That's what I'm going to run over. That's what I'm going to run with, and hopefully get some traction as far as fundraising, because I got to put together $5,000 to have a legit campaign. I'm thinking of driving around Pennsylvania and just putting cans, stopping at convenience stores, gas stations, whatever, putting my name and what it's about, and put coffee cans on the tables with a slot in it, donate to. And when it hits $5,000, then I got the legit number, and maybe maybe it'll happen, quick. Maybe it'll be full of pennies. I don't know, but I don't want to reach out to people and say, hey, give me money. I just want to come from the heart. I'm not extreme one way, I'm not extreme the other. I did slum rehabs back in the 80s and early 90s, and we're fixing up houses, beautiful houses, in Newark, New Jersey. And it occurred to me, and I was the only white guy on the crew. I was the foreman. I ran the job, but everybody came from, halfway houses, rehab. I mean, it was community project oriented, so it was everybody from some kind of a program. And the one thing that occurred to me is, like, we're making everybody's houses great, through HUD. You buy it from the city for $1, and then HUD gives you a grant, and we come in and we fix the house and we make it beautiful, but there's no jobs. So what are we doing? You can't maintain the house. You can't keep the lights on. The owner still doesn't have a job. He had $1, so he bought it from the house, and he had the wherewithal to fill out the forms, but there's no way to maintain this place. And over the years I've driven through the neighborhoods we worked on, and it's all burned out. I mean, half the houses don't even exist anymore. They've been bulldozed, years ago. But I've never been, we have to shut down welfare, we have to shut down Section 8. I've seen the other side of the coin, where there is no money. There is no, there's extreme poverty. And, back before the Depression, back before the New Deal, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal, the churches and the community organizations. You had the Italian American Club, you had the Irish American Club, you had the Welsh Brothers of, my dad was part of it, I can't remember what it's called. But, you had all these groups that would stick together and support each other. And with the New Deal, that brought in welfare, that brought in, subsidies, that brought in everything else. And that pretty much destroyed all the private organizations that fix things. And I'm not saying it should be go back. I'm going to pass a law and it says go back to the way it used to be. I'm not going to. But you can't get rid of the structure that's there now. It would be mass starvation. It would be mass homelessness. It would be mass horrible. But we got to fix what's there, and nobody wants to do that because nobody wants to say, hey, that person, vote against them because they made homeless people. Well, not really. I'm willing to say, this is bullshit. This is just fraud. We can't do it. So anyway, I'm starting to ramble. It's late. I'm going to put together a campaign. It's going to just had a phone malfunction. I'm going to put together a campaign. It's going to be called the Third Party. That's what I'm running under. And any libertarians, any Green Party, any Republicans, Democrats, whoever, hopefully I put something together that appeals enough to everybody that doesn't believe that if you had an abortion, you should go to prison for the rest of your life for murder, and everybody that feels that Joseph Stalin shouldn't be carved into Mount Rushmore. Those people can stay home. I want everybody in the middle, and I think it's got a shot of taking off. If nothing else, getting a conversation of what's wrong, and maybe we can fix it. Y'all have a good night.